Hey guys, Eric Maples here. It's crazy to think that we're in the final week of our class now. It seems like we just were in week one, week two, starting to prepare and learn more about the topic of public relations, and now we're here at the end of week eight giving our critical assignment presentations. Over the course of the last couple weeks, I've had the opportunity to study the PR campaign known as the Making the Sunscreen grade. It was ran by Merck and Company in the year 2014, and they did a very good job of being able to get this campaign across to many people. Over the course of this PowerPoint, I'm going to be able to talk to you guys a little bit about what I had the chance to learn. Again, this is Eric Maples, and this is my critical assignment for Public Relations 300. Just a little overview for you guys about the campaign. It was when two children sunburned while at school. The children came home from school and their parents noticed that they had become burnt and they knew that they had put sunscreen on them earlier in the day. So this sparked a little bit of concern as to why their kids were burnt. And they came to find out that it was due to lack of sunscreen application throughout the course of the day. The reason that there was lack of sunscreen application throughout the course of the day is because of the lack of language that was written within these regulations. The regulations were written very vaguely, which caused for some confusion and some concern amongst parents. And different regulations were varied from state to state. So in California, we could have had a completely different sunscreen regulation policy as compared to, let's say, a state that doesn't have as much sun, say Oregon. Because of this, Merck and Company wanted to launch the Making the Sunscreen grade campaign to help better inform teachers and parents of these regulations, as well as the importance of being able to put sunscreen on our children throughout the course of the day. And they also wanted to help regulate these regulations and laws that were already put in place. They also, which I feel is the most important part, is help decipher the language of those regulations and those laws. So it became more simple English and more easy for people to understand that didn't write the specific laws. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of history on Merck and Company. They were founded in the year 1891, and they're known for their global healthcare contributions. They ensure that people all around the world, in all continents, all countries, all states here in the United States, are receiving the correct medication. They ensure that these medications are what they say they are, that they're the correct doses, that they do what they're set out to do, and they also do the same thing for vaccines. They focus a lot of their time with vaccines in countries in, say, Africa and countries that need more vaccines. As of course, we need our vaccines here in America, but it is of the utmost importance that we do provide vaccines to those in other countries that need them. They also have multiple medical reference books and journals that they've written and still continue to write. Two of the most popular ones are known as the Merck Index, as well as the Merck Manual of Diagnosis and Therapy. Let's take a look into our SWOT analysis. And for those of you who may not know, a SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that a business may face at any given time. A SWOT analysis is not just something that you make when you start up and running your company. It's not something that you use just once a year. It's not something that you use for any specific situation. A SWOT analysis can be used for any number of things. So first, we're going to take a look into the strengths and weaknesses of Merck and Company and the Making the Sunscreen grade campaign. I feel that the two biggest strengths are that they already have a sunscreen brand to market, which many of us know as Coppertone. I know that in my household, Coppertone has been used for many, many years when I was playing baseball, when I was playing football, when I ran track. And then the other strength I feel is their target audience. If they're able to hit the target audience of the parents and the teachers, that is ultimately a strength because those are the two main people that come in contact with the children throughout the courses of the day. So being able to identify that target audience is a huge strength and a huge step in the right direction. I only listed one weakness. This is because I feel that the one weakness that they need to focus on more than anything is regaining the public's trust. The number one thing that they lost when these two children came home with the burns after using sunscreen was the trust of the parents. Because of this, losing the trust in the parents ultimately loses due to loss of revenue, and that is not what any company wants. If they want to regain the trust of the public, then they knew that they had to set out and do something that would change the public's viewpoint, and I feel that that's why they launched this Making the Sunscreen Great campaign. Just a more SWOT analysis continued now. We're going to take a look at the second half, the O and the T, opportunity and threats. Some opportunities that they have are to improve their public image. Again, going back to the weaknesses, being able to dive in and directly see what they did wrong and how they can improve on it. They have the chance and the opportunity to help various groups of people, both the children that have been burnt or been affected, and also the children that have not been burnt and have not been affected, but they can help prevent those children from becoming burnt. Also, they have the chance to help parents. Of course, parents want to have the peace of mind that they're sending their kids to school completely safe and they're not going to be burnt by the sun and come home with a burn. They want to be able to know that their children are safe and in caring hands. And they also can help the teachers. They can help the teachers become more aware of these products and shine some light onto the benefits of the products as well as the negative effects of the products if applied incorrectly. And they also have the chance to produce a new product, something that they can use in their benefit to show the public, look, we know that we did something poor, we know that we messed up, but we do have a new product and we've done X, Y, and Z to improve the product so that we can ensure that your children are not being harmed. Now, let's take a look at threats. There are a couple threats, and I feel that that would be not being able to regain the public's trust because there is always going to be that group of people or a certain person that does not want to use the product any longer. Once something bad happens, they are done. They don't want to use it. It's over with. Because of this, it is a threat that they might not be able to gain the full public's trust back. And then I feel that the biggest threat for Merck & Company for their Making the Sunscreen Great campaign would be failing to educate. Put the trust aside. Whether you trust somebody or not, that doesn't mean that they can't teach you something. And because of that, if they fail to educate even people that say they don't care, then that is ultimately failing. Because if we don't educate people on the downfalls and the negatives of not being able to apply sunscreen throughout the course of the day, then they will never know, and it will continue that we can harm ourselves as well as the children. Let's take a look at the programming on how they were able to roll out the Making the Sunscreen Great campaign. Merck & Company had a 3-step objective plan. Step 1 was to enhance Coppertone's reputation. They wanted to make sure that people knew that Coppertone was here to stay. They wanted to make sure that Coppertone was a product that could be reliable as well as trustworthy for all people, whether it was a child, a male, or a female. It didn't matter. They wanted to enhance Coppertone's overall reputation. Step 2 was to ensure that Coppertone is positioned as a leader in sun protection. They did not want to be on the back burner of anybody's mind as far as what sunscreen was the best. They wanted to be in the forefront of that, and they wanted to ensure that they were the #1 company for sunscreen. And they also wanted, step 3 was to raise awareness around the need of sunscreen. They wanted to shed a light and bring attention to the fact that sunscreen is not just for those days on the beach. It's for those everyday activities that you never think that you would need sunscreen for, because over the course of time, those same activities can impact us by the UV rays coming down on us repeatedly and then ultimately burning us, and it could lead to melanoma as well. They also decided to increase their digital content. By increasing their digital content, this meant that they were increasing their ads. Those click ads that we always see, as annoying as they are, they can become beneficial for a company such as Merck & Company and Coppertone that is trying to enhance their reputation. After increasing the ads, they increased their ads by 75%. So when we were online, pretty much 3 out of every 4 ads that we were seeing at the time were coming from Merck & Co. as well as Coppertone to shed light onto the topic of making the sunscreen great. And then let's now take a look at effectiveness for the campaign. I say that the campaign can be viewed as an overall success for many reasons. I have a few listed here. Merck & Company saw a 17% increase in the number of consumers who believed that Coppertone reached into the community to educate. This meant that when excuse me there for a second, guys. I had to sneeze and had to pause the video. Let me run that back. Merck and Company saw a 17% increase in the number of consumers who believed that Coppertone reached into the community to educate. While some may see that this is a small number, this is just a number that was taken at the time of this survey. I'm sure if we were to look into the number today, in 2018, now that the campaign has been up and running for over 3 years, we would see that the number is greater and that more people are now educated on why sunscreen is important. 12% increase in the amount of people that heard their message, whether this was people that took their message to heart, people that did not care at all about the message. It does not matter. They saw a 12% increase in the people that heard their message, and sometimes at the end of the day, that's all you really want is for somebody to hear the message so that they can remember it for a time that they need it. 83% of parents felt that the campaign gave them useful tips in keeping their children well protected. I feel that this is one of the most important numbers that's listed, as well as one of the most important facts that is listed in this entire presentation, for the reason that only 17% of people felt that they did not receive any useful tips from Merck and Company and Coppertone that helped them feel that their children were more protected. That is an astonishing number, in my opinion, because 83% of people, you never really see numbers like that in such a topic as this, to where it affects so many people. It meant that Merck and Company and Coppertone both did their jobs in reaching out into the community and being able to educate the correct people, which I feel ties back into finding the correct target audience. By finding the correct target audience of those parents and those teachers, that made for the company to be able to find such a high number of people that felt that their children were protected.